Hello everybody, Paul here. Today I'm going to be doing a shave with Ginger's Garden Arctic Mud. This is a mentholated soap from Ginger's Garden, and I'm going to be, for my razor today, I've decided to go ahead and use the Feather all stainless razor. There you go. And we'll give that a try. I've got a Dorko ST 300 blade loaded in here, and I thought I'd go ahead and give that blade a try. This was recommended to me by one of my friends here in Phoenix. So I'm going to go ahead and give that a go in the Feather and see how it goes. And for my brush today, I'm going to be using a brush that I haven't used in a video in quite a while, but it actually is really a really great brush, and that's the Simpson's Commadore. And this is the X3. This is the biggest in the Commadore line. It's about a 23 to 24 millimeter knot. The knot is Best Badger, Simpson Best Badger, and I really like this brush. I think in the Simpson lineup, the Commadore and the Colonel really are a great bargain. You really get a super high quality brush for well under $100, and they are really great brushes, and maybe a little bit underrated. So if you guys are looking for a high quality brush from Simpson but don't want to spend a fortune on one, maybe take a look at the Commodore and the Colonel lineup and see if there's something there that you might like. I think you'll be pleasantly surprised with these brushes. So I'm going to go ahead and this has been soaking in some warm water, and I'm just going to go ahead and just rinse it with a little hot water, give it a gentle shake, and then here's the Ginger's Garden soap, and I'm just going to go ahead and start loading the brush from the puck. One thing, the jar is a little bit small, so that's a little bit of a something that I don't particularly like, is the size of this jar. But as you can see, the soap lather is really good. Last week I did a video with the Ginger's Garden Fougere Fern, and this one seems to be lathering just as good and as easily as the Fougere Fern. So we'll go ahead and get going here. So I find the knot in this to be very, very similar to the knot that I find that's in the Duke 3, in the way that it feels and its performance. And this brush is significantly less expensive than the Duke 3. So if you're considering that brush but don't want to spend the money for the Duke, this may be a good alternative to that for you guys. So as you can see, the soap lathers up really quickly and forms a nice lather. So we'll just go ahead and get the excess off the puck there, and we'll just smooth it out and we'll get going here. I'm going to rinse this off. So this soap has a, the smell of the soap reminds me of Wrigley's Double Mint Gum. It's scented with peppermint oil and spearmint oil, and it also has some menthol in it, so it has a nice little menthol tingle to it. The menthol level is not, as aggressive as you would find in like the Queen Charlotte Bostock, or How to Grow a Mustache Frostbite. Or some of those other super high mentholated soaps. But the menthol is definitely noticeable. You can definitely feel it, and it feels good. So this Feather all stainless razor has a reputation for being very, very mild, and it is indeed mild. I've used this razor a little bit since I've gotten it, and it definitely is mild. The head design, to me, looks a lot like a Gillette Tech, and as many of you guys know, the Gillette Tech head is fairly mild, and this one is too. Now this is all stainless, so it's a lot heavier than any of the Gillette Techs that I have, and it's very solidly built. It's actually a very nice looking razor in the hand. It's kind of a brushed, it's got kind of a brushed stainless steel look to it, and it's got a nice weight to it, and it's really a comfortable shaver to use. And one thing I found about it is, when I first got it, it was a little bit tricky to find the optimum angle to hold it at. If you don't have it at just the right angle, you feel like it's just not really cutting. So this one, you really have to kind of play around with it when you first get it to find the right angle. But once you kind of find the right angle and get used to it, it really works quite well. So it's very comfortable to use. I think guys that like aggressive razors are not going to like this razor probably because of its mildness, but for guys that like a kind of a milder razor, or guys that shave every day and don't want something that's going to tear up their face, this is would be a good alternative for them. So I've been, like I said, I've been pretty happy with it, and it seems to work pretty well for me. And you know, some days I don't want a real, you know, super aggressive shave. Sometimes my skin might be a little dry or a little tender from the shave the day before, and I want something more mild. And this really fills that niche quite well. So, okay, so here goes the third pass. So the Dorko blades have a kind of a reputation for being sort of hit and miss. Some guys like them, some guys don't care for them at all. I had never tried them before, and as you guys know, blades are such an individual thing. That, you know, my advice or anybody's advice on what's a good blade may or may not actually be useful or hold true for you. You know, everybody really has to kind of find their own way with the blades, find out what works for you. But this is the second one of these Dorkos I've used, and I found that they're really pretty comfortable for me. They seem to work quite well, so I've been happy with them. I wouldn't shy away from giving them a try. You know, they're fairly inexpensive, so. If they work good for you, great. If they don't, you can always move them on to somebody else, and you're not out a whole lot of money. With any blade, I think it's probably a good idea to try a 5-pack or 10-pack before you invest in buying 100 blades of any particular type. Even though their blades are probably the most expensive piece of hardware that you can get as far as wet shaving goes. You know, there's no sense in buying them by the hundreds if you don't know if they're going to work for you. So, you know, as everyone recommends when you're first starting out, it's probably a good idea to get a sampler pack of blades. Don't worry about what other people say about the blades. Just try them out, see for yourself what you like. Because something that everybody else says sucks may be the perfect blade for you. And you know, it's all highly dependent on your skin type and your beard thickness and your hair thickness. And so what may be really great for a lot of guys may just not work for you, and vice versa. So okay, so there we go. And you know, even though for me, even though that razor is really mild, it really gives a really pretty nice close shave. Like I said, I've been pleasantly surprised with it. I did resist getting that razor for a long time because of its reputation, but I'm glad to have it in my repertoire of razors, because like I said, some days I just don't feel like having something really mild or something really aggressive. So anyways, guys, that's my thoughts on the Feather Artist Club. The Ginger's Garden Arctic Mud Soap, really great. It's got a nice post-shave feel. Works good, lathers easily. It's got a nice clean scent. The only funny thing about it is it does remind me of Wrigley Double Mint Gum. You know, I don't know, maybe with this one you're going to match your shaving soap to your toothpaste. Who knows? But the scent's very pleasant. It's refreshing. It's good in the morning. It's got a nice menthol kick, and I really like it. So anyways, guys, I have a little visitor here. Here's my cat Rocky. He's the shave inspector, and he is a real attention whore, and he's up here on the counter, and I have to grab him before he starts knocking stuff over because I'm not paying attention to him. So anyways, say hi, Rocky. Hi, guys. So anyways, guys, have a great day and great weekend, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.